Hello and welcome back to the Geordie Entertainer Show. I hope you're all having a great evening or whatever you are doing on a Monday, where I know some of the world are into Tuesday. So if you have a good Monday, then it's a great one. If you don't, then keep going because the week may be your week. So Chelsea are through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So we are going to play against Palmeiras. They're a great, another great Brazilian team. So, so if we do beat them, we will go through to the semi-finals. But there are some concerns. Well, a lot of concerns. Concerns about the weather because in our last match we had to wait for 4.5 hours to finish our match. Can you believe it that, when the storm is about to come or may not come or sort of thing, the fans had to go inside the stadium, probably drink more beers and more food or whatever they were doing for 4.5 hours. And for us viewers around the world watching, hoping, you know, we only got like the last 5 minutes of the match to try and finish off. But 4.5 hours, can you believe it? 4.5 hours. So it is what it is. So you just have to take it on the chin and take a drink. Well, by the way, this is water because it's really hot in the UK. I mean, I know some parts of Wales is freezing, absolutely freezing. And I know that in Scotland it's always cold. And so it is what it is. So I'm enjoying the summer. However, there has been massive concerns about, well, hopefully they will take some lessons from this tournament going into next year's tournament, the World Cup. There are rumours that they might be moved to the winter or even more cooler periods of the year. Might be September, might be October. But I just read the article on my phone to say that they're thinking about putting most of the matches at 9 o'clock local time in the USA. And I mean, to try to avoid the peak of that heat. I know that no one really can't play in 40 degrees heat. What are you doing? I mean, I know some of you be like, well, have you ever tried playing it in 50 degrees heat? And it's like, what are you doing, sort of thing. So it is really difficult to really try to balance between the three, the player, the club and the broadcast. How would they manage those three to balance us, the fans, and the fans are watching it on TV and the sponsorship watching it on TV or they're being, on the prawn sandwich brigade. How would they balance all those things to trying to make the World Cup a very successful World Cup? I know that back in 1994 World Cup in America, they had some extreme heat, but a lot of science has been going into the players. I know that Thomas Tuchel, our England manager, and England, the the fitness coach, the health side of things, the science sort of things are looking into how are they going to play. I mean, if you watch like the way Chelsea are playing, the way Man City are playing, or the most European teams are playing, They're just sort of not running, they're just sort of like walking past the ball because it's so hot. So what I don't know how the national team's going to cope with that next year. However, there needs to be, a limit on our bodies to say enough is enough. So you cannot really play in the heat at all. I mean, if you do move to the winter, well, what about the Canadians and the Mexicans? Well, I don't know much about the Mexican winter, but I know that their weather is quite good all year round. But the winter in Canada is so cold. It's so cold. It's you just feel like you just need to have Wim Hof in the ice bath. That's how cold it is. So, but I just think if FIFA are going to move it to the winter again, it is big problems, absolutely big problems with, you know, big problems. I'm saying it's just big problems. Um, it's a big problem of how can we cope? Like if we go and move things to the winter, how do we how do the leagues organise their their games in the league? Do they have to just suspend their league games in January? But because we have got the third round of the FA Cup in January, um, I'm sure the Champions League as well. So everything needs to be put on hold. So if FIFA said tomorrow we're going to move things to the winter, just hold all your stuff and postpone it to your end of your season and prolong your season into June or July. But, but it is what it is. We just have to take it on the chin. So I just don't know how we're going to do this. I mean, the planning and the logistic side of things. So we just have to really go for it now. But I am really happy of the way Chelsea has been performing in this competition. I know that they are exhausted, they are very, very tired, but I'm so proud of how they handle themselves in the heat and in stadiums where the atmosphere hasn't been what people expected. So it is what it is. We just have to take it on the chin. Now, I'm just practicing this live stream because I'm hoping I might be do the live stream on the Saturday night. Because when the games will be playing on 9 o'clock in American time, and it is shown at 2 o'clock here, British time, and an hour forward in the European times. So we're just going to have to really work out uh, whether we would watch it as Chelsea fans. I might want to do the live stream on Saturday night at 2 a.m. However, if they are going to have postponements because of the weather, I might not do it. But it is what it is. So I'm going to say cheers to you all and have a good one and enjoy the week.